Hello and welcome to our fifth session, and in this session we are going to discuss about the 3D viewport. We are going to start exploring our 3D viewport right from this icon. See here. So basically when Blender is open, this wide view is the 3D viewport, and in this 3D viewport we are going to see an object from different perspectives or from different angles. So to understand it better, I will select this cube, press X and delete it. I will go to add mesh and I am going to add a monkey. Now here, when you are seeing this monkey, you can see it from different views, and the views are expressed over here. Now one thing you have to observe here is, you have three colors here: red, blue and green. Red represents the x-axis. See, you can see the red line running here. And remember, the x-axis in Blender always runs from left to right. So if this is the object, left to right, you have the red line running. Now similarly, y-axis is represented by green color, and y represents, if this is the object moves back or front by moving it along the y-axis. And finally, right now you are not seeing the z-axis. If you want to see it, see, come over here, click on this overlay key and click on the Z button. And now you can see the blue z-axis, and z-axis moves from top to bottom. So these are the three axes along using which we are going to see the images. So now if I want to navigate and see this image from different angles, I can come over here, click and drag, and you can see I can turn around all the way and I can see this. See, this is moving. However, now instead of clicking and dragging here, if I want to navigate directly, then the keyboard shortcut we use here is the middle mouse button press. So when I press the middle mouse and when I drag it, see, when middle mouse is pressed, see, now I have clicked the middle mouse, and now when I move it, you can see that I can move around the object from all the angles. On the left hand side, it gives you the name of the view. It is right now user perspective. When I click on this X button now, you can see that we are seeing the object from the right hand side. Right orthographic it is showing. Now if I click on this X once again, see, you are seeing from the left side. So if I click on X, I can either see from right or see from left. Now instead of clicking this X, the keyboard shortcut that we use to see the object from left or right is the Numpad key 3. In your keyboard number pad, just click on 3, you are going to see it in right view. And if you want to see it from left view, press Ctrl and click on the Numpad 3. So Numpad 3 makes you navigate between left or right. Okay, Control click is left, regular click is right. Now similarly, now if I click on the Y button, you are now seeing the object from the back. If I click it once again, I am going to see it from the front. Now for this, the keyboard shortcut is the Numpad 1. So when I click Numpad 1, you are going to see it from the front view. But if I press Ctrl and if I press Numpad 1, you are going to see the back view. So we navigate between front view is Numpad 1, back view is Ctrl press numpad 1. Now similarly, if I come to the Z button here, when I click on the Z button, you are now seeing the object from the top view. I am seeing it from the top view. And if I clicking on Z once again, it is bottom view. And here the keyboard shortcut for top view is 7. So when I click on 7, see, you are now seeing in the top view, and if I press Ctrl and click on this, you are seeing it from the bottom view. So remember, numpad 1 back and front. Okay, numpad 3 left, right and Ctrl click left. Numpad 7 is top and Ctrl click bottom. And also when you are seeing from the top view, when I press 9, I can see the same image from the bottom view. So instead of Ctrl 7, I can also use the number key 9 to move to the bottom view. Now apart from this, see, I will press 1 and come into the front view, and now see, if I press 4 button, see what happens is, for every click of 4 button, it is going to turn to right by 15 degree. See, 15 degree it rotates for every click of 4. See, as I keep clicking the 4 button, it turns from left to right. Similarly, if I press the 6 button, it will rotate in the opposite direction from left to right. See, 6 makes it rotate left to right and 4 makes it rotate from right to left. Now similarly, if I press 8, it is going to rotate to the top. See, I can see it from the top view. And if I press 2, I can see it from the bottom view. So 4 rotates left, 6 rotates right, 2 rotates bottom and 8 rotates to the top. On the right side below this, you are seeing 4 buttons. The very first button at the bottom is called as the orthographic and perspective view button. So if I click on perspective, now it is bottom perspective. If I click again, it is bottom orthographic. And remember, the keyboard shortcut to toggle this orthographic and perspective view is numpad 5. So when I press numpad 5, it is perspective. Once again, if you click it, it is orthographic. Now you may ask, what is the difference between orthographic and perspective view? So to make you understand, I will come to top view, press 7 and press top view, come to the top view. Then I will come to add, and in the mesh, I am now going to add a cube. And I will press G. G is the keyboard shortcut to move any object. And Y is the axis. I will press Y, and so I will move it along the G axis. I will come to this later. Movement of object, we are going to deal with it later. Then I will press again add mesh, and I will create one more cube, and I will press G, Y and move it to the forward. Now both these cubes are of the same size. However, when I press middle mouse and turn around like this, and if I see it in perspective view, you can see that this cube appears bigger than this, because this cube is near to the eye and this cube is far away from the eye, and this is what we call as the perspective view. However, if I shift to orthographic view, now you can see that both are of the same size, and you are seeing it in orthographic view. You doesn't see the depth. Means the rule of an object which is closer should appear bigger will be bypassed. An orthographic view gives you the exact dimensions of the object present there. An orthographic view, we normally use it when we do the tracing or when we are using a reference image, and when we are tracing something we use the orthographic view, but this is not a realistic view. If I press numpad 5 again, now you are in the perspective view. So to switch between perspective and orthographic view, we are using this button. Then you have one more button here called as the camera view. And if I click on the camera view, you are going to see the object inside the camera. Now I will press middle button and turn away somewhere, and you can see the camera is here, and from the camera the object is shown. Now if you want to see this camera view, click on this camera button. So when I click on this camera button, you are seeing the object in the camera view. And again for this, the keyboard shortcut is numpad 0. If I press the number pad 0, you are going to see this object in camera view. And if I click again, you are going to come back to your perspective view. Then you have one more icon, and this is for panning, to move the object left to right, pan it, or top to bottom, we use this. The same panning can also be done by pressing shift, hold shift and press middle mouse. Now you can see you are going to pan the object either from left to right or from top to bottom. So for panning, shift plus middle mouse will allow you to pan the object. And now finally you have the zoom control. So when I click on zoom and move it, you can see the object is zooming in and zooming out. See, it is zooming in and zooming out. And now if I want the same zooming to be done using a shortcut instead of this button, then roll your middle mouse. So when you roll it forward, it will zoom in. When you roll it back, it zooms out. Only thing is, when you are rolling the mouse, you can see the zooming happens incrementally. Means there is an incremented zoom happening. However, if I press Ctrl and if I scroll this, see, if I press Ctrl, press middle mouse and move it, you can smoothly zoom the object. And when you are zooming, see, I want my object to zoom to this Susan monkey, but when I click and drag, it is zooming somewhere here. So if I want it to zoom to monkey, I should select the monkey, and then next I have to press the key. So if I press the period button on my numpad, see, whichever object you have selected will be zoomed in. And now if I press middle mouse and turn around, I will turn around it. And if I press Ctrl middle mouse, I will zoom around that object. Now similarly, if I select this cube, if I press the period in numpad, then I will zoom to that object. So normally when you are working, sometimes what happens is, say you have all these objects, you have, say, to give you an example, I will come to the top view, I will come to add mesh, and I will add one UV sphere. Say for example, I will press S and scale it, and then I will press shift plus D to duplicate it. I will drag one, keep it here, I will drag another, keep it here. So I am creating a solar system now. So there are many planets here like this. And now when you are working, I want my camera. So I am zooming it out like this, and I am somewhere here lost. And I want to zoom in to my Earth planet means I have to select the Earth planet here. Now one thing here is, if you name it as sphere 001, sphere 002, it will be very difficult to identify which sphere is Earth. So that's why remember, whenever you create an object, double click and give it a name like this. Say for example, I give this sphere the name as Earth. I select Earth, bring the mouse in this 3D area and press the period button on the numpad. So immediately you are focused on the Earth. And then I can press middle mouse and I can turn around in all the angles. I can zoom around and I can check it. So this is how we are going to use this 3D viewport. And in this 3D viewport now, we have discussed about the views from different angles, then zoom, pan, and about orthographic and perspective view. So with this, we are going to come to the end of this 3D viewport session, and in our next session, we are going to go in deep with this 3D viewport by understanding the visualization and customization.